Hi, I'm Rania. Welcome to my advanced choreography video. We're going to do a choreography to a Hakim song, El Walla Walla. In this song, El Walla Walla, Hakim, although he is a man, the gender reference of the lyrics is as though he's singing to a man. But please don't take it that way, because in context, in Egypt, it is actually a compliment to refer to a woman in the male gender. So when he says El Walla Walla, he's calling her the little boy, which may sound strange, but what it actually means is you sweet young thing, that you're hot and young and your youthfulness is so attractive. And there's a sense of innocence and spoiledness. It's attractive in Egypt to be spoiled, believe it or not. So he's saying El Walla Walla, the sweet young thing, and he's saying El Walla Asal Sukkar Awi Awi, which means the little boy is honey and sugar, Awi Awi, which means very, very, or a lot, a lot. And there's times when I'm going to slow down to convey that feeling of spoiledness and sweetness. And there's other times when we'll concentrate less on the words and more on the beat, the rhythm, and the melody. Okay, so we'll weave back and forth between straight choreography and letting everyone know that we're aware of what the song means and we're translating it and expressing it with them. There's another part in the song where he says, Habibi, which means my darling, Matigi, come here. So you'll see me motioning, come here with my hands. Okay? Let's start the intro of the song by using an Egyptian shimmy, our knees and ankles as close together as possible, and just pushing out with the knees. I'm going to turn sideways so you can look at that. My pelvis is tucked underneath me. I have a lift in the chest. I am not in plie. I'm standing with my knees straight. I'm not locking my knees. It's very important. Don't lock your knees at any time, really. It's not very good for you, but especially during an Egyptian shimmy. That will slow you down to lock and then unlock. You're standing straight, your knees are not locked, they're supported by the muscles in your legs in a relaxed way, and you're just pushing out. And the pushing out of the knees is making everything above the knees vibrate. Okay? So I'm going to layer that shimmy on top of a horizontal figure 8. My horizontal figure 8 will start with the right, pushing front, side, back, twist, left side, front, side, back, right hip, front, side, back, twist, left hip, front, side, back. And let's layer the shimmy over that. Good. We're going to do one count on each side. So the count will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to keep the shimmy. Don't stop, no pause in the shimmy. Keep shimmying, and instead of layering the shimmy over the hip horizontal figure 8, we're going to layer the shimmy over a segmented hip circle. The segmented hip circle is right, front, left, back, change direction, left, front, right, back. And on the last one, we have a half a count in between the end of this measure and the beginning of the next, and we're going to use that in-between step to hip circle around and bring the right leg up, ready for a hip drop. So the hip circle will be right, front, left, back, left, front, right, back, around, ready for the next measure. The next measure is diagonal arms, right hip toe pointed and hip lifted, drop and kick, switch sides, arms out, drop and kick. And here's that part in the song, Matigi, which means come here, drop and kick, come here, come here. One more time, drop, kick, drop, kick, come here, come here. Good. Okay, let's run through that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, front, left, back, left, front, right, back and around. 1, 2, switch, 1, 2, 1, 2, switch, 1, 2. Good. Let's move on. Okay, so when we end the first combination, we end with that drop and kick and the hand gesture on the left. So the left hip is elevated. We don't have time to change from there to transition to the next move. So from this same position, I'm going to do a circle just on that one hip. I'm not moving my supporting leg at all, just this hip that was just dropping and kicking is now going up, down, front, and up again. And I'm gonna do it 3 times, and each time I'm gonna bend my supporting leg a little bit more. So we have a 1, 2, 3, chest drop on 4, snake arm, up and switch. And the count will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Next, we're going to move on to the same drop and kick, but we're going to walk with it. Drop and kick. Drop and kick. Drop and kick. Okay. And we're going to do that 4 times to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And next, since the right hip is elevated and ready to go, we're going to shimmy and do right hip forward, right hip back, right hip forward, right hip back. Let's take it again. From the end of the first combination, which was here, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and. Okay, so when we ended combination number 2, we went right foot forward, right foot back. Stay there, don't move. Weight change to the front, and start the next measure back, front, back. Let me do that sideways for you. From the front, back, front, back. I'm changing the weight from the front to the back, and I'm adding this pelvic camel. I'm pulling in on my lower abdominals. So it's back, front, back, and then this foot that is front is now going to come back, and I'm going to repeat the same thing, back, front, back. So if I'm facing front, I end the previous combination, right foot forward, right foot back, here, back, front, back, back, front, back, step back, step front, brush my foot, just sweep like you're brushing something out of the way. Brush around, so it's the right foot is behind the left but next to it, and I'm going to go into a segmented turn, half turn, and then a full low turn in the other direction. And I'll end up with my side facing the audience. Let me walk through that again. So from the end of the previous combination, we had right foot forward, right foot back. I leaned front in between measures, and I start the next measure, back, front, back, back, front, back, back, front, brush, position, half turn, low turn, and I'm setting up for another hip drop on the right. Okay, so from here, it's drop and kick, pivot, drop and kick, pivot, drop and kick, pose, drop and kick, pivot, drop and kick, pivot, drop and kick, pose, right, lean on the right and push the right hip out and accent by pushing the right elbow out. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now bring the right leg behind the left. So it's 1, 2, 3. Instead of 4, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You do a little shuffle and reverse camel up. Let's try that from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, pose. 1, 2, 3, pose. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you do this, this step, you bring the right leg behind the left and you put your weight on it and add a little pelvic camel. So it's like you're stepping off a curb and you catch up a little bit, almost like a stagger. Whoops, caught myself. Whoops, caught myself again. Whoops, caught myself. Don't be stiff about it, nice and relaxed. Weight change and weight change and weight change and. And the reverse camel is setting up for the next combination. Let's move on. So we ended our last combination with this reverse camel. When we reverse camel, I want you to get up and releve, get up on your toes. And then we're going to bring the other hand up. And we're going to do a hip circle walk with a shimmy layered over it, if you can. If not, just do the hip circle walk. And I find the best way to do this walk is to place one foot in front of the other. So if I'm traveling to the left, I want the right foot in front of me. And that way I don't have to move my hips that much in order to get a nice round look of the hip. Whereas if my legs are a little bit farther apart, I really have to swing my hips out for you to see them pass the line of the leg. So from here, reverse camel up onto your toes. Bring this hand up so both arms are up, one foot in front of the other. And of course, you're going to do this much more quickly than I am right now. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. You're going to do a hip circle and pivot around. And repeat from the back. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And now you're diagonal to the audience. Stay in releve, and instead of doing a hip circle walk, we're going to reverse camel. I still have my right foot in front of the left, but I'm going to step to the side like this with a reverse camel and a shimmy. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now my right leg is going to drop back, front, back, back, front, back, full turn, and down. Try that from the beginning. So we ended here, reverse camel up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to pause for a moment, and when you hear an accent in the song, in the melody, we're going to do this hand wave accent, 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly bring yourself up. You'll hear the accent again about here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And from there, we're going to just spoil ourselves, ignore the music for a moment, project a little bit of attitude and a little bit of the spoiling and sweetness from the song. Bring this right leg around and go into a nice, wide, slow hip circle. Recover from the hip circle, and we're going to do an umbrella turn to the right. So to travel right, I'm going to point my right arm, and I'm going to sweep my left arm over my head. And the count is 1, 2, snake arm, other side. 1, 2, snake arm, step right, and I'm just, because my right toe is already out and pointed from the snake arm pose, I'm going to weight change onto the right and push that hip out. 1 step, point the left, and 2 step. Actually, the arms are a little bit different. From here, it's 1 and 2 and. So let's try it one more time. From the turn of the previous combination, we're going to turn and down. Slowly come up. Hear the accent in the music. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come up a little further. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the way up. Right leg out. Wide hip circle. Recover from the hip circle. Right turn. 1, 2. Snake arm. Left 2. Snake arm. Right and left. Good. Let's try it from the top without music. Starting with our shimmy, facing forward, shimmying over horizontal figure 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Into a hip circle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And around. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right foot forward, right foot back, right foot forward, right foot back. Weight on the front, back with a camel. Back, front, back, step front, brush right and around, half turn, full low turn, and get ready to drop and kick, drop and kick, drop and kick, pose, other side, drop and kick, drop and kick, drop and kick, pose. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, camel up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and down. Listen for the accent. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lift. Right leg comes around. Big hip circle. Recover from the hip circle. Legs together. Turn to the right. Snake arm. Left and snake arm. Right, left. Let's move on to combination number 6. In between measures, we're going to begin to angle ourselves to the front right corner. And we're going to step on the right while lifting the right hip. So it's a step hip. Try that again. From here, angle front left corner, step hip. And when you step hip, you're going to point your hands towards your hip, gesturing towards your hip. So step hip. Then we're going to angle ourselves again on the next step to the back left corner. And this time, although we're still doing a step hip, instead of gesturing the hands down, although the hips are doing the same thing, the hands will go up. So it's step hip, step hip. Angle again, step hip, step hip. So we've just hit all 4 corners, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this leaves us in a position where our profile is to the audience. So we can go right into this walk, hands in front. As you step forward, bring the knee of the back leg in, step, and push out. Step, push, step, push. We're going to do 4 of those. So from the end of the last combination, angle, step hip, step hip, step hip, step hip. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Face front again in releve, left hip down, right hip down, left hip down. Right. Down, 2, 3, over, down, 2, 3, over, down, 2, 3, over, down, 2, 3, about face. 1, 2, 3, 4, pivot, step out with the right, figure 8, lock, step with the left, figure 8, lock, and then with the right, this is a transition. It will look like you're about to go into your figure 8, but you're going to go into a hip circle, facing profile again to the audience. Okay, that was a little bit difficult, so let's run through that one more time. From the last combination, facing forward, step hip, step hip, step hip, step hip. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Figure 8, lock, step. Figure 8, lock, step. Almost a figure 8. Hip circle, set up for a hip drop. Okay. Let's move on to combination number 7. So combination number 7 starts out profile to the audience, our right side facing the audience. We're going to start with a hip drop. This is the chorus again. So the same way we did that hip drop sequence in the first chorus, where it's drop and kick, pivot, drop and kick, pivot, we'll start out that way, but we won't do the same chorus. We want to give a little bit of an element of surprise. So they may think you're going to do the chorus the same way, and we'll change it halfway through. So it's drop and kick, pivot, drop and kick, pivot, drop and kick, pose, other side, drop and kick, drop and kick, drop and kick, face forward. Now we're going to walk to the right with a hip circle walk. 1 and instead of repeating the hip circle walk, we're going to go into this type of walk, which is essentially this walk where the rear leg points the toe and straightens the leg to lift the hip, and we add a circle to that hip. And we'll diagonal the arms. So it's hip circle and 2, and this one. Hip circle and here. Circle, diagonal, circle, diagonal. So that's the chorus. From the beginning, drop and kick, drop and kick, pose, change, drop and kick, drop and kick, drop and kick, pose and circle, diagonal, circle, diagonal, circle, diagonal, circle, diagonal. Good. Let's move on. Okay, so we end our last combination here. Let's come back to center, and we're going to go right into a barrel turn. And these are the barrel turns where you're kind of going around the room as if you're dancing around the barrel. So imagining there's a barrel around behind me. I'm going to first spot the wall over there. And my left leg is going to come back, and my hip's going to go back also. My hands are at the sides. And then my right leg is going to go front, and then back, front. So now I'm facing the wall. So the left leg always goes back, and the right leg always goes front. Left always goes back, right goes front. And I pivot each time I move my feet. So right, left, right, left. Now I'm going to change my focus. I'm going to change my spot to the back wall. Same thing, right leg back, left leg front, right leg back, left leg front. And now I'm going to change my spot to the next wall. Right leg back, left leg front, right leg back, left leg front. Now I'm going to face front, right, left, left. So each time I go back or front, I'm facing a different corner. Okay, if I'm only doing the barrel turn in place, just one barrel turn, it's back, front, back, front, back, front, back, front. And to speed it up, back, front, back, front, back, front, back, front. So I'm doing 4 of those, but each time I do one of those, I'm facing a different direction, and that's going to bring me around. I'll do it fast now. 1, 2, 3, and face front again for 4. So from the last barrel turn, I'm going to change direction and do some of these low turns, flat foot and plie. 1, 2, 3, 4 with the feet, spotting front, then shimmying my shoulders. I'm going to do this 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Change direction, 4 more turns, opposite direction in releve. 1, 2, 3, 4. And last, change direction, 2 barrel turns and a transition. 1 and 2, and nice hip circle with a little bit of a pivot. Okay. That combination does require mastery of those 4 different types of turns, but I think it's important to show knowledge of different types of turns and in succession. Just throwing in a couple different kinds of turns during a routine is okay, but to do one right after the other and show the difference in form from one turn to the next shows a different level of skill, I think. So I'm hoping to force you to work on that. Let's review that combination one more time. 4 barrel turns, 4 low ethnic shoulder shimmy turns, change direction, 4 turns in releve, change direction, 2 barrel turns, and these are the barrel turns where you are the barrel, as opposed to the first kind. 2 barrel turns into a hip circle and pivot. Okay. Let's do that one more time. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and pivot. sequence here. And we're going to put our arms over our head, stay in plie, Maya, Maya, shimmy, reverse camel up. Keep shimmying, pivot. Maya, Maya, shimmy, reverse camel with a shimmy, pivot into a big hip circle with the hair. And when you complete your hip circle, remember to pivot outward too. This is just a big, spoiled, rotten hip circle. And from there, after the hip circle, it's umbrella turn in place to the right, in place. And then a figure 8 with the chest. If you haven't done a figure 8 with the chest, let's dip one side down, dip the right side down, out, up, and then left side down, out, up. So there we go. So that's barrel turn in place, figure 8, figure 8, figure 8. Pause as you go down a little bit more, figure 8, figure 8, figure 8. And when you come up, we're going to come up and get ready to do 1 and 2. Okay, let's review that again. We come out of the last combination with this pivot. Go into plie, hands above the head, Maya, Maya, shimmy, reverse camel, pivot, Maya, Maya, shimmy, reverse camel, pivot, umbrella turn in place, figure 8 with the chest, pause as you go down, figure 8 with the chest, transition into 1 and 2 and. Good. Let's move on to combination number 10. And we're almost done, so hang in there. Come out of our last combination with this gazelle walk. We're going to pivot, facing our right side diagonally to the audience. Come up in releve, lift the arms. Right foot comes behind. And we're going to do 4 of these seat walk steps, like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm going to break down the seat walk step for you with my right leg slightly behind the left. I'm going to bend my back leg as if I'm about to sit down. I tuck my pelvis underneath me. I'm going to pull in on my lower abdominals. I'm keeping a lift in my chest. I'm not dropping my chest at all to curve the lower back. It's here. Watch my back leg, the knee is bending in, and I'm pulling my lower abdominals. So it's 1, and change legs 2, and change legs 3, and change legs 4, and. Now out of releve, back on our flat feet, and we're going to do 4 Hagala steps. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Starting on the 1 of the next measure, it's a twist, twist, and 3 more Hagalas. So it's 2, 3, 4. Starting on the 1 of the next measure, push back. 2, 3, 4. On the 1 of the next measure, pivot and hip circle, pivot, hip circle, reach front, reach back. Now that we've reached back, the right hip is ready to present forward for the final chorus. Yes, the very last chorus. And that's drop and kick in place. 1, 2, 3, 4. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Khaliji head turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and relaxed. Don't strain your neck. And then the right hip's going to pivot forward, and then you're going to turn right, pivot left, turn right. 1, 2. Let me break that down again. Push the right hip forward and do a half turn to the right. Push the left hip forward, another half turn to the right. Right hip forward, half turn, left hip, half turn. So again, that final chorus is 1, 2, 3, 4, switch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to end the routine. Because the music fades out, we're going to end by doing an arabesque walk slowly off the stage. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, off stage. And that's it. Let's run through our choreography, the second half of our choreography without music. Starting from this position, we're going to start combination number 6 with a pivot and step hip, step hip, step hip, step hip. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, figure 8 lock, figure 8 lock, hip circle, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, barrel turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, shoulder shimmy turns low, 2, 3, 4, change direction, releve, 1, 2, 3, 4, and barrel turns, 1, 2, pivot, and Maya, Maya with a shimmy, roll it up, pivot, Maya, Maya with a shimmy, roll it up, big slow hip circle, extending all the way around front, pull it together, barrel turn in place, umbrella turn in place, figure 8 the chest, pause, figure 8 the chest, come up and transition into 1, 2, pivot into releve, arms up, seat walk, 1, 2, 3, 4, Hagala, flat-footed, 1, 2, 3, 4, twist, twist, down, 1, 2, 3, push, 1, 2, 3, around, 1, and pivot, 1, lean forward, lean back, final chorus, 1, 2, 3, 4, switch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and arabesque walk out, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Let's try it with the music. this section is too fast, where we're going back, front, back, front, back, front, back, roll up, you may want to substitute with a different combination like this. At halftime, back, front, back, front, back, roll up, and go right into the next combination. Let's try that with music. If you're not comfortable with the extensive spinning choreography, here's an alternative combination. With the right foot in front, hands overhead, we can camel as we rock back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, turn right, 6, 7, 8. Repeat on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, turn left, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 7, 8. Repeat 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and 7, 8. Let's try that with music. My clipboard is showing. My clipboard is showing. If the spinning in this combination is it's too fast, where take that combination from the top again, but we'll start with the end of the previous combination where we did a turn and down and down and down. Okay, don't keep rolling, don't worry, I'm gonna fix this. And down. I'm going to try that again. Whenever you're done out there, Mr. Tugboat. Oh, is that why they call them tugboats? Because they tug the boat. Ah, I finally got it. Hello, move it along. Wow, that's pretty cool.